Can you please give a thought about death? Ooh. So yeah, like we imagine that the opposite of death is life, but it's not. The opposite of death is birth, right? Death is something that happens. Life is something that's always here. Death is an event. Birth is an event. You cannot compare an event with a non-event. Life and death, not equals. There's no such thing as no life. In our experience, we can see, oh, a robin died in front of me, or a mosquito died. That thing deserved it. Right? We can see a death of something in front of us. We experience the death of something that we see, but where is that being experienced within? It's being experienced within life, within you, within that which has no opposite. And so we imagine that death is a final ending of something, but it's synonymous with rebirth. Even when we go through like a psychological death, an ending, a transformation, a finality of a relationship or a job or a way of being, doesn't end there. It's just constantly reborn. And we see this in the nature too, right? Now we're into autumn. The leaves are, most of them are fallen now. And you see them decomposing on the grass, on the streets, going through this decay process and acting as fertilizer to help grow for the next life cycle. That's not something scary. It's not the opposite of life. It is life. Death is part of life. And it helps life. It helps to continue life in the life cycle. And it has this scary connotation because there is a kind of contrasted finality to it. And the mind fears endings because there's no certainty. Seeing that the thoughts were creating attachments around how things should be allows one to let go and to detach from the forcing, the hanging on, the resistance to death, the resistance to change and transformation, the resistance to finality. You naturally begin to detach, right? A natural trust begins to grow in the nervous system because you realize that the resistance and the stories that the mind was projecting was just that. It was just stories. It was just made up concepts. And so through this clarity and through this detachment, you begin to just die to every moment. And in that, death is a celebration. Because there's nothing to cling on to. Life is just a falling, like a free falling. A centerless free falling of cycles, right? And each one's different, you know. I never thought I would be 38. I thought I was going to stay young forever. And now I'm at this age and it's like, okay, I'm in the middle of my life now. Things are, wow, this is new. I thought I was going to be a kid forever. You know, you start getting little pains here and there. The metabolism slows down. You're more careful, right? You value your sleep. You value your comforts more, right? Your friends are having kids. There's different things that are happening. It's a new experience each time with each stage. And as that progresses and continues to go on, and typically when people are at the end of their life, there's this piece that begins to take over again as the system prepares for it to drop back into the ocean. Merge back into the fullness as the character begins to release. you know? Many people who like die natural deaths say that there's a readiness to go. It's a natural, yeah, no resistance, a softening to what's coming, a softening to what is as the body prepares. Yeah. But all of that is taking place within this space of life that has no opposite, right? So the body dies, but you are not the body. And this isn't something that I share with you so that you can take it on as a new belief. Please don't do that. Just see clearly that there's a space here that does not change. Has nothing to do with what you think, has nothing to do with your age, with your emotional state, with how much good karma you've done. It's just this eternal emptiness that allows for the fullness of what is to play out within. And so the best way that we can approach death, the best way that we can approach the experience of death, the manifestation of death, the temporary experience of it, is to see it no different than anything else. A valuable part of the play of duality that's dancing before us. But your existence is not wrapped up within that play of duality. Right? It's not dependent on what happens in the story. You are the book itself. And so in a sense, awakening is kind of like a death. The death of a character that never existed. The death of an illusion, right? Kind of like when you found out that Santa Claus wasn't real. And sorry to the ones who may be hearing this for the first time. I should have done a spoiler alert. It was never real. You just imagine that it was real. You just imagine that this story of thought was real. And you know, I suffered so much trying to find enlightenment, trying to find what all these teachers were talking about. And I suffered a lot even before that as well. I had depression. I had some issues. And I remember thinking, when you hear about this spiritual stuff, you're like, I am never doing this again. Like, this is hardcore life, too much pain. Wow. Like, I just want to awaken. I just want this shit over with. And the funny thing is that now that I see this clarity and I see what's going on, that it's just life kind of playing a game on itself, hiding on itself, I'm like, I could probably do that again. Like, you know, when you're a kid and you go to the or you go to like the theme park or something, and you go on like a really scary ride, like a roller coaster, and you're on the ride and you're just scared shitless and you're like, get me off this thing. I've had multiple experiences like that as a kid because I always used to push the limits, and I'd be like, oh my God, get me off of this, like screaming, like terrified for my life. You get off the ride and then you're like, I could probably do that again. Or even if you've had like really intense psychedelic journeys before, like you've done like iboga or 5-MeO DMT or like mushrooms and had really extreme experiences on those, and you're like, oh my God, get me out of here, this is awful. Sometimes people never do it again, but then other times people are like, yeah, Sign me up. Sign me up again. Because it's a game, right? Because it's like what you are transcends purpose. It's not like you exist because there's some universal goal that needs to be fulfilled. It's more of like a why. It's not a why, it's like a why not. Right? There's infinity. This is infinity, experiencing infinity. You are infinity, experiencing infinity in front of you. So what's the purpose to infinity? It transcends purpose. Purpose is something that's experienced within infinity, and purposelessness is also something that's experienced with infinity. So to say that life has a purpose or that it doesn't have a purpose, both are just made up, because even the word purpose is made up. Right? And so within this play of purposeless infinity, it's playing a game. It's playing a game of hide and seek. Let's create this whole dream reality with all these rules and billions of people walking around thinking that there are these conditioned thought programs that are playing in their head that are saying I. And there'll be a way out of it. Yeah, there's some spiritual stuff. There'll be people that have had recognitions and maybe they can lead the way. And we'll go on this whole journey of self-discovery, only to find out that what I was looking for was zoop. This space of infinity that was experiencing infinity that I always was. And the suffering was part of it. The pain was part of it. And not to discount anyone's extreme experiences. I've been there myself. I really have. And I empathize with that. And this is one of the reasons why I share this message now, is because I just see so clearly that it was just stories, me believing stories and trying to work my way out of a maze, but just getting into more mazes. I'm going to turn the light on here. Is that okay, that lighting? Okay, so let's check out the comments. If anyone wants to come on and be guided into clarity, or if you would like to just interact or ask a question, this isn't really a space to share your philosophical beliefs. Sometimes I get people coming on here doing monologues about the universe and all of that, and it's kind of like more of a concept free. Oh, whatever. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Everything has a reason in your life. You have learned the lesson before you can move farther on. It appears like that sometimes. And sometimes it doesn't, right? Hi, Froggy Fuzz. I mean, there's a purpose. There appears to be a purpose in the relative story, right? Right? Like, there's a purpose to the hand. It's for grasping things. There's a purpose to a hammer. There's a purpose to rain. Right? When it interacts with the world. But what's the purpose for all of that? Right? Like my mentors use the example of, like, you look at a lion hunting a gazelle. It's like, what's the purpose for that? Cat and mouse, right? Predator and prey. It's just to be. So we see, okay, yeah, the lion's hunting the gazelle so that it can eat, and that's the purpose. But what's the purpose of that entire dynamic playing out? Is that somehow progressing? Anything that you would say would just be another belief. Like, oh, it's to progress, it's to learn, it's to gather information, it's so it can know itself. anything you say would just be more thoughts, right? I've been uploading these lives on YouTube as well, little like components of it, and I've been putting up some of my one-on-one calls for people to check out what I'm doing. Amazing, fascinating, head-popping clarity. And I almost have 300 subscribers, so that's really exciting.